Hello there everyone. This video will be in English this time. So it's just to help you with the month's challenge to be able to put text and maybe a bit of decorations or a box and then be able to export it for print and for web when we share. So let's get started. So my file's already open. If you guys want to open your file, okay, we got to get into Photoshop. You can open Photoshop and say File, Open, or you can right-click on your file and open to Photoshop Elements Editor. You can always drag it in this box. So you open your file. All right. So before actually, there's something that you guys can play with. There's different things you can do, but there's this Enhance button. And right now I didn't do anything to my file. And personally, I find it's a bit flat, it's a bit boring. So I kind of recommend that you can play with these autos, like auto contrast. See, it's better. Good, why not? I like to add, I like going to brightness and contrast sometimes. You can just add a bit of contrast, give it a bit of pop. And I also like to add saturation, always add saturation. That depends on how you adjust your camera settings when you save your JPEGs. And obviously it's too much, so sometimes it's a little, that's depending on your camera, how much you're gonna add or not add. Let's just say we want +7, okay. So now everything we've done has saved on the file, so we can't readjust or anything. So I'm gonna undo everything we've done to show you how to do it where you can readjust after, okay? So undo is here. So I'm just going to undo until my photo, do you see that difference? How it's so boring and then ooh la la, so good. So we're going to take it off. Okay. So now we are going to go look for up here, adjustment layer. I say up here, but it might be down there. It depends what Photoshop you have. So above here, it's a little like a beach ball with a square. It's called an adjustment layer. Okay. So we will start with levels. And as you see now, another layer has been created and a new box has showed up. So often you can do your contrast by bringing in your black point to your black point and your white to your histogram, and that gives itself enough contrast. So we can leave this box open or we can close it if you want to look better, depending on how big your screen is. And I love this eye before and after. And what's so great is that you can re-click on this histogram, like the levels icon. And then you can keep adding or not, or you can really, oh boy. Oh, and what I love it, when you mess things up, it's so good. You hit this button, reset. Okay, it's a 1, not 0. So we're gonna restart what we did, bring the black to where the histogram, to where the mountain goes. And then this white, the mountain's here, but you know, we don't have to go with that extreme. Let's bring your black to the mountain, the white to your mountain. Looking good, before and after, perfect. So that does your contrast. You can use that with your levels. And saturation, it gives a nice pop. You know, you gotta pop it. Ooh la la, it's a bit much. But what's fun about, because it's a layer, you can say, okay, I'm putting 13, but then you can use your opacity just for this layer, and you can bring it down that way instead of with the numbers. It's another way to make it perfect. So you can always close your eyes before and after. Like, what a difference. Isn't that beautiful? So that's just a quick way to pop your colors. So you want to do a contrast and you want to do a saturation. All right. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add text. So it's the T tool down here. And whenever you click on a tool, something's going to happen at the bottom or on top, depending which Photoshop elements you're going to have. So let's say it's this one here. We make sure it's plain. It's already on white, but let's say it wasn't on white. Well, you want to pick white. I want to pick white for this photo. And then we click, and actually it looks pretty good. So let's write piece. All right, good. It's not perfect. So this is just piece, and we want it bigger. I've been told to not do this with text, and as you can see, it's all wacko. But also with the resolution and stuff, with text, everyone says we can activate it. I activate it by pressing the T 2 times here, but you don't even have to. I think you just click twice on it. So you can click twice on here or click twice on the T to reselect. And then if you want to make it bigger, it's always better to do it here. So we want 100, more than 130, it doesn't exist. So you just type it in. So let's say we want 230. Let's go 400. Let's say okay. We reposition it. It's kind of weird. It doesn't. Okay, let's say it's good. We're happy. And like these bounding boxes, like if this drives you crazy, when you're on the select tool here, you can show bounding box. So you can take it off. It's up to you. So then let's say you don't want pure white. Oh, it's annoying. You might want to just even, so if I click on levels and I bring down the opacity, well, I'm gonna wreck what we've done with the contrast. So you have to make sure you hit the word piece because I want to bring down the opacity. I don't want pure white. Let's say I want it to kind of, go through. So the photo is more important. Oh, wait, that's cute. So I have an idea. So all of a sudden I'm like, okay, why don't we make piece smaller? Let's bring it back to 200. And then let's go in the text and let's go copy paste that. Copy to space. We'll just make it go through the photo. Oh, it's kind of cute. And then we say, okay, so what I do is I copy paste. So Command C and then Command V. Speedy Gonzalez. So I don't know, it's kind of cute, or maybe at the bottom. Whatever. It depends on your photo and what looks good. No, I don't really like it. Anyway, so it's just an idea. So this is what you can do. You can, for the opacity of your text, of every single layer you have, this is an option. When you click on your T, all your options down here for color and different fonts, it's all there. All right. So let's say now you want to add like a shape. I would like to add a rectangle. So let's say I want to do a box. I think I'm going to put a box down here. So now if I want to move this around, I need to go back and click my move tool. Then I can move it. Okay. So we can leave that pure white and then we can go. So now we have a shape tool here. So that's the bottom box. So all these layers are happening here. Sometimes you can't grab it automatically, especially because now with the piece, we lower down the opacity. So we can't, it's harder to grab. So you might have to click on piece to be able to bring it down. But now white on white is not a good idea. So let's say I'll take the T and let's make it, actually let's make it the color of the photo red. Okay, so to do that, where's my bateau? Here, sorry, eyedrop tool. So let us take the eyedrop tool and let's get that crazy red there. Okay, we don't see what's going on. I wonder why. Because the text is behind the shape. So it doesn't matter what we do. So it doesn't matter what we do, we're not going to see it because the white box is in the front. So we're going to hold and drag the text on top of the shape. But I'm not sure we'll be able to, yeah, we can do it there. Okay. So we want this color. Okay. Okay. Kind of crazy. So between highlighting the text, grabbing this eyedropper, and then going around and trying to pick the different colors that we want. We might have want green instead. So there's a cool green. And then when we highlight back our text, our green is still there. So we can, when we, you click 2 times on the box, and then you get that green. It's a lot of just clicking, folks. All right, so the shape box is too white, so we're gonna bring down that opacity. And if you want to change stuff like the shape box, we want to make it bigger or smaller. We're gonna click again our show bounding box, and then from right here, we can just make it bigger. And using your arrow keys, you can go up and down. All right, so this gives you a little idea on how to add things to your Christmas card. But personally, the subject is too much in the middle. So there's nothing on top and then there's this at the bottom. It's kind of weird. So it doesn't really look good. So we're going to bring this above and then we're going to crop. And I think even lower the opacity even more on the whole thing. on the text and on the shape box, just to really add a little bit of post. Okay, so now let's say we want to do, so now we're going to save this as a PSD. File, save as, and I'm going to call it Christmas card 2018A, because you have to do more than one if you want, whatever. And here is where you don't want JPEG, you want Photoshop. And it says Photoshop will include the layers. It's all good. So save. All right, so when I want to resize it for a card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a stamp all visible. So everything you see, make it one layer. So you have to make sure you're not on the bottom layer, that you're on the top layer. Then you play piano. You hold everything, Command, Option, Shift. The PC world, I'm not too sure. So the three major keys like Option, Command, Shift with the E, letter E like egg. And then everything we've done is on this one layer. So now we're gonna duplicate this layer, put it on its own, and then start cropping and making it ready for what we need. So we're gonna right click on this layer, layer 1 that we just created, right click, duplicate layer, and then we're gonna go, the duplicate layer number 1, that's what it's called. And then destination, I want it to go to a new document. And we don't have to name it now, so whatever, new document, okay. And then up here, it's untitled 1, and now we just have it, so now we can play. So let's say we want to make a 5x7 card. So we're going to hit our crop tool here. It says no restrictions, but we know the width we want 7x5, okay? And we don't want to put the resolution yet. So we're going to hold and drag until, and even then we can keep going there. So now, it's kind of good and it's kind of bad, because let's say I wanted to bring down this piece and bar, then I have to go back and like restart. So it's kind of, but I think it's gonna be, yeah, it's cute. So now we took off the bottom excess. So now we have our subject here, and then we have our words up here. Kind of cute. Maybe we should have put more piece words. But anyway, so you get the idea. So now we're gonna go to see how big our file is. So and that is where I think we would go image, resize, image size, just to give us an idea. Okay, if I send this to print, how big is it? So we did it 7x5, but the resolution is 633. So it's too much for a 5x7. So we're going to bring it down to 300. So when you go to print, you want it to be 300. You say okay. And now you see how it got smaller. So we got rid of a lot of resolution, but it's okay because we still have this PSD file. So we can go back, do the same steps if we needed bigger. But this one is just for this card. So now we're gonna save this one as a JPEG so we can go print wherever we want. File, save as, JPEG, and then we're gonna say Xmas. Oh no, we're going to use the same thing. Okay, so we're going to write Christmas card, and I spelled it wrong last time, 2018A, but then you should say what it is. It's a 5x7, so then when you look at the file, you'll know what you have done, and you say save. Here, always maximum, always, always, especially when you're going to print. Web is different, but print always maximum. Okay, so now you can go where you saved it, and then you can send it to Vistaprint or Jacuzzi or even to your printer or whatever, you're ready to go. So let's say you want to share it to your friends on Facebook. Then it's not 5x7 anymore. So now you can work, sorry, I went too fast there. So now I want to undo what I just did. And it doesn't matter what I do, it's already saved because this one is untitled, but where I saved my image, it's here. The 5x7 is here. I created another copy. So this one I could keep doing stuff, undo and just keep going, but I'm still saving all the files that I need. So it's like a TV screen is like 16:9, like the ratio. So let's see if we could do something funky. Oh yes. So because this is a world where there's so many different options, TV, print, all the good stuff. I don't like it. Okay, so if we're going to do that, I think we need to bring down. So I'm back at the PSD file. So if I start working on my text and on my shape, if I want to move it, we won't see it being moved because we did that stamp visible on top. So now we're going to delete this one, like super easy. Okay, sorry. Usually press delete, but we're going to hold and we're going to drag it into this garbage can up here. And it's a gone. So now we're going to select both piece and shape by holding shift. And I'm going to use my arrow keys. We're going to do this. So we're going to bring it down so that'll look better for that. And I didn't like the way I cropped that word piece there. That was kind of weird. All right. So we're happy with the placement for the screen. So now we're going to go back here and we're going to go Command Option Shift E to stamp everything we see into one layer. We're going to right click, duplicate. We're going to want a new one. Then we're going to crop. It's already 16 by 9, so it remembers what I've done. And oh la la, look at this. Facebook is so pretty. All right, oh, looks really good. So now because we're going to web, we're going to have to change the resolution. So image, resize, image size. And 16 by 9, but 16 is kind of small. So if we want to keep this ratio, let's say some people got really big computer screens. So let's say we'll keep the ratio because this is locked, but we can maybe do 24. And then, so now we made the document size bigger for like a bigger TV screen. Let's go 26. But we're going to put the resolution at 72 for web. So our document still is big enough for Facebook. And then we go OK. You'll see it'll get very small. And there's one other step to do when you go for web. There's this thing called File, Save for Web. It is so good. It takes away a whole bunch of resolution without losing the quality of the look. So Save for Web is a must. And it can even give you ideas. And I always make sure it's under 1. So 500, 700K, that's really good. And you have to make sure it says, usually when you first do it, it'll be under GIF or something. So you want to make sure it's under JPEG. And very high or maximum is usually where I want to go. But I want to stay under 1. So this is 500 is good. Let's say I want maximum. See, 1 meg, too much. No, I don't like that. So very high, very good, 500. And then we say save. And that's going to ask us where you want it to save. So right now I'm saving everything under shadows for, I'm learning how to resize. So this is the same card that I did. So when I click what I've done, it just gives the name, which I like. But now it's not 5x7 anymore. It's 24. We can write Facebook or something where you know that this is for Facebook, or you can write web. Something for so you know what you do, like where it's going to be used for, and save. And then if you go where you've been, you've got your 5x7 ready to print. Then you have your web ready to go. And the 5x7, it's 2 megs. It's a larger file. And the web is 500 KB, so it's a smaller file. You don't need as much. And you have your PSD, which is 126 megabytes. It's huge because you have all the layers and you can move them around. So we're going to go back to, so now the file that we worked on for web, we don't need to keep it. We've already saved it. So we go, no, don't save. And then this one here that we did for print, untitled number 1, we don't need it. We saved it already. Don't save. Now this we have to be careful. The PSD you always have to save. And I know that we made changes, but you can rechange the, let's say someone says, or your husband goes, oh my gosh, I don't want peace. I want you to write joy or joy, peace, joy, peace. No problem. You just delete the stamp visible. You go back to your text, and then you can write joy in between your piece. And that's what's so great about the PSD files. You just keep going. So I hope that this, and then you redo the steps. You do your stamp visible, Command Option E like you do, and then you do a copy of it so that you can resize for print or for web, but you never want to lose your high-res file. And then, yeah, if someone says, no, I want like a stronger white, a stronger band. Anyway, I hope you get the idea. You can just keep adding different things. So this is kind of long, but I hope this was very useful, and good luck and have fun, and don't be shy to call if you have any questions. All right, thank you.